Hello everybody. I feel kind of overwhelmed making this video. I've been wanting to make it for a couple of days and I just feel kind of overwhelmed because I want to include all the information and I want to be sure not to forget something. So I have made some notes of things, so bear with me please, and I just want to tell my story. It is so important to get this information out there. So I'll just start by, first I would like to say I'm not giving medical advice to anybody. I'm telling what happened to me, and I'm relating a few things from the ITSAN site. That's ITSAN. It's the International Topical Steroid Addiction Network. And they have like 1,300 members on there, people that have gone through this. And if you think this might be you after I tell you all about it, please go there. I urge you to go there for more information. And it's so wonderful to just be in there amongst fellow sufferers, and we can exchange things that have worked for us and give each other emotional support and everything. So, but I'm not giving out medical advice. I'm simply telling what's happened to me. Okay. I'm an older lady, and for the past, and until I was like 50 years old, I never had any eczema at all. Not even as a child, to my knowledge. I never had it at all. When I was 50 years old, I would start to get a tiny patch of skin, a tiny patch of eczema would come on my right hand, exactly the same spot. It's so crazy. The same spot every winter on the top of my right hand. I'd get like a half an inch tiny little place, and it would itch like crazy. You'd go to the dermatologist and get a little tube of Elicon, a little tube of poison, and I would put that on my hand. Just one application would be all that it would take. Elicon is a pretty potent topical steroid. So I would put that on it at night. The next morning, boom, it would be gone, no problem. So, and if I kept my hands well moisturized, I wouldn't even need that. So I only used that once in a blue moon, and that plus it would only happen in the winter when your skin is more dry. So that's the only eczema that I ever had, just extremely mild, extremely infrequently, until boom, last year. Okay, last year, everything changed. Last year, around this same time, around April, I got a small spot on my back, no larger than 1 inch. Didn't know what it was because it was perfectly round. It wasn't like the normal eczema I had experienced on my hand. And it was round, and it was like a reddish pink color. And the color of it disturbed me, and I thought it was really weird that it was round like that. You know, it looked like a coin. So, okay, a couple of months passed. I tried everything under the sun, all kinds of home remedies, you know, everything. You name it, I tried it. It would not go away. So I got worried that perhaps I had skin cancer or something. So I did go to the dermatologist after about 2 months of that. So I went to them, and right away she thought, well, she gave me, wait a minute, I've been to so many. I've been to 4 of them, and plus an allergist. So, okay, I went to the first one. The first one thought that it was probably, quote, probably nummular eczema, and she gave me a topical steroid to put on it. I don't remember what that first one was, but she gave me a topical steroid to put on it. So I put the cream on it every day, twice a day. And nummular eczema is also called discoid eczema. It presents as a round spot, and so people think you might have ringworm or something. You know, the diagnosis is a little bit difficult for them because it looks so much like ringworm. It also looks so much like a fungus also. So I just applied that for like maybe 2 months, well, maybe a month, I'd say. It didn't do any good, so it didn't take it away. It was very stubborn. It just remained. So I went to a different dermatologist because that one was a little bit out of the way. So I walk into this second dermatologist's office, and right away she said, no, that's not nummular eczema. I think what that is that you have a fungus. So I was real surprised because that had never happened to me before. So she thought it was a fungus, so she prescribed a couple of creams for me. One was a $300 tube of cream called Naftin. Very expensive, very expensive. That was way out of my budget, but I had to get it because nothing else was taking this spot away, right? So I used that for about a month. And well, I used it until the tube was gone, which was 1 month. Towards the end of the month, I was also getting a spot on my side, and I started getting a couple more spots. So I went back to the dermatologist, and she took a skin culture. First, she did a skin culture, which came back the next time I went after that. She said, no, it's not a fungus. It's not a fungus. But she still didn't know what it was. So then she started prescribing me other ointments to put on it, topical creams to put on it. And so then I had a biopsy done. And after I had this biopsy done, it came back as spongiotic dermatitis and nummular eczema. So it was established that it was indeed nummular eczema. So I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, Lord, help me. So she prescribed me some let me see, which thing did I have first? So many to choose from. She prescribed me, when she established that it was the nummular eczema, she prescribed this wonderful tube of poison known as Triamcinolone Acetonide cream. Okay, it's very expensive. You can get all the poison you want for like $4 at Walmart and ruin your skin. So she prescribed that for me, and I continued to use that and continued to use that. No mention was ever made. At no time did she or another dermatologist that I saw, at no time did they tell me, use it extremely sparingly. Don't use it after 2 weeks. You should not use it anymore. And they never warned me anything. I was looking up. I was starting to get worried, starting to feel something was wrong because it started to spread so much. So I was looking on the internet, but just a little bit. And I found out by the internet, not the doctor, that it thins out your skin. But I didn't look enough. I did not investigate it enough. I just found out that much. And I thought, well, I better apply it very sparingly because it thins out your skin. But I did not know the repercussions of that. I did not know the whole ball of wax of what would happen if I continued down this dangerous, dangerous road. So I kept putting it on and putting it on. The rash spread. It spread and spread and spread like wildfire. And it seemed like the more I put the cream on, the less effective the cream was. So I continued putting that cream on, and I would go back to her and go back to her. I switched to another dermatologist, and this other one gave me, it wasn't working, so she gave me Clobetasol, okay? Triamcinolone is very, very potent topical steroid, but Clobetasol is in the super potent category. So it's like pure poison. It's very, very strong. I put that Clobetasol on my skin for, I'd say, about 4 days, until the point where I put it on a spot on my back, and like the 4th day, I think it was, I put it on and it started burning really bad, like it set it on fire. And I saw that it was getting, this stuff, this nummular eczema presents as very red anyway. Well, it was like even more red. It was extremely red. And it was very painful when I put the cream on. Clobetasol is very powerful. So it was like really burning and stinging. So I had to stop using the Clobetasol at that point, and I went back to the dermatologist again, and I looked terrible. I had already received one steroid shot, which did absolutely zero. It did absolutely nothing for me, which surprised the dermatologist. Okay, and then at this point, she gave me a full strength, very potent shot, of a steroid. And she said, "Oh, this will clear it up. Oh, this will clear it up." Well, it did not relieve me in the slightest. It did not lessen the 50 million marks on my body. At this point, it was from head to toe. I mean, it was on my face, it was on my chest, it was on my back, it was all down my arms. I mean, just for fun one day, I counted the marks on my arms, and they're still there. I have like 35 of these marks on just my right arm alone. Just for fun one day, I sat there and counted them like that. Yes, I did. And so I've got these marks and all down my legs. It started all down the front of my legs, then it moved all up the back of my legs, and so on my back, all over the place. And so I've just got it everywhere. I'm just a hot mess. Just a hot mess with this stuff. So she gives me this steroid shot, very potent, and I go home, and she wants to see me in 2 weeks. I come back in 2 weeks looking just the same, if not worse. And she just had this very shocked look when she walked into the room and saw that it had done me no good whatsoever. And she just went, that should have taken all that away. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to send you to an allergist. So she sent me to an allergist. I underwent all this expensive patch testing and skin testing and whatnot. It did absolutely nothing. They found out absolutely nothing. It did not come up that I was allergic to a single thing. So then the allergist wanted to put me on antihistamines, and I took the prescription for that home, and she said if that did not have any good results, she wanted to put me on antibiotics the next time. Well, I went home, folks. I went home, folks, and all this, I just had been having a very, very bad feeling about it. So I came home, I took like 2 of the antihistamine tablets, and then I started researching like crazy on the internet, because here I am, I have this stuff head to toe on myself. It itches, it hurts some, and it's just terrible. It's all over the place, and absolutely nothing is affecting it, right? I mean, nothing. So I came home, I started researching like crazy, and I found Eczema. Okay, so I've been studying and studying and studying. There's a doctor at UCLA called Dr. Marvin Rapaport, and he discovered, I don't know how many years ago it was, but probably at least 20 years or something, anyway, a long time ago. He discovered this something called red skin syndrome, and its rebound from the steroids. And he has treated over like approximately 2,000 patients, he said, that he has treated. And they have all gotten well after they kicked the steroids. He said that you need to just cold turkey stop the steroids. But first I want to make it absolutely clear, we're not talking oral steroids. If you are on oral steroids or prednisone, you do not stop that all of a sudden. Do not do that. You can put yourself in the hospital. Don't do that. I'm talking, and he's talking, if you're using topical steroids and you think you have this, after you've established to yourself that you do have it, then he said you need to come off of it cold turkey. And there's a very long withdrawal period. It's very rough, a very rough road. But if you continue to use these steroids, you're just going to make your skin worse and worse and worse. And you have no idea how bad it can get. No idea. What it is that your skin becomes addicted to these steroids that you're putting on. Your skin actually becomes addicted to it. Your skin, when you put these steroids on your skin, it's constricting the blood vessels. So when you come off of it, they're no longer being constricted, and so the blood vessels dilate, and it causes you to have your skin to go red all over. Like on some people, it's like completely the entire surface of the skin, like all up and down their arms and legs and whatever, in their face. It can go completely red, and it's a terrible thing. It is a complete nightmare. But the only way to stop it is to kick the steroids. And there's children suffering with this. This is a terrible thing. And so you go into withdrawal. So I listened to his teleconference calls that he had. I have just devoured the Eczema website and other places. I looked at a lot of YouTube videos of people suffering from this, and I did a lot of reading, and I just learned a lot about it, and it's a nightmare, and you need to stop using the steroids right away, the topical steroids right away. And we need to spread this information and really get this information out there. Let me see. Let me pause for just a minute. Let me see. What else did I want to say? Oh, okay. If you think you might have this, there's several symptoms that everybody has, and that are like the most common. And so like the first one would be that your skin burns. Now, Dr. Rapaport says that normal eczema does not burn, it simply itches. Okay, that's perfectly normal eczema. So the burning sensation, if you've been using them and you get a burning sensation, then that indicates that you are having an addiction to it. And so that's the first thing. Another indication would be that you have a wildly spreading rash. As I said, it was all over my body. It still is. So if your rash is spreading uncontrollably all over, then you need to have a heads up on this. Okay, another thing is if the cream stops working for you. If it stings when you apply it, if it stops working for you. Like towards the end, the last couple of months, the creams didn't even work for me. In the beginning, they worked well. When you get into this addiction to it, the creams just aren't doing any good anyway. So if you're having those things happen, and also, very important, if you have had that biopsy done and it shows spongiotic dermatitis, okay, if you have eczema, it should show atopic dermatitis. So if you get a biopsy and ask them what it shows, because they won't always tell you, ask them, and if it shows spongiotic dermatitis, you are in the steroid addiction phase. So, okay, those are really important things. And, okay, let me see. Now I've just been speaking off the cuff. Now let me check my notes and see. Oh, okay, and see what I've missed. Okay, another thing is this normally happens with people that have eczema and are using the creams. However, we have people on the Eczema board, the Eczema message board, that have applied the creams for acne, and for a couple of people that have applied it for other things than eczema, and they are going through it too. So even if you don't have eczema, please beware of this cream and tell everyone you know about it. But Dr. Rapaport said 90% of the time it is eczema. It is from eczema. So, okay, and did I say that he's the clinical professor at UCLA and he has a private practice? He's about 76 years old now. There's also a couple of other doctors that have studied this and that are on board with it. But most doctors don't know about it. If you speak to your doctor about it and he turns a deaf ear, it's because he doesn't know about it. And so he's reluctant to hear you many times. So you need to go to someone who can help you. Okay, now let me go over the symptoms that you have when you go through The withdrawal phase is a nightmare for most people. It can last anywhere from a few months to a couple of years. There are people that are even still withdrawing that are in their third year of it, and this is why this is such a terrible, terrible thing. Also, let me mention that Dr. Rapaport said that you can become addicted to these creams, folks, within 6 weeks. Okay, for some people, it only takes like a month of using this poison. So beware. Okay, if you're thinking, well, that can't be me because I haven't used it that long. It could be you if you're having the symptoms I already mentioned. Okay, and also let me point out another thing on the board. People are on the board who have said that they quit the creams and their asthma went away. Their asthma went away. It somehow can come along with it. There are people on the board that have said this is just tragic for the little ones, you guys. It is really tragic. I read some of their posts and I just feel like crying. I'm moved to tears many times. I read of one baby that had cradle cap, a tiny little baby, and the doctor told them to use that on this baby, and that baby went from cradle cap to having severe eczema. It's just terrible. Just terrible. And please know that, it can get really bad. You can get on IV steroids and be hospitalized and every other thing. And okay, there's another thing someone mentioned on the board is Chinese herbal remedies, okay, that are sometimes helping people. You need to beware of them because someone had them tested. It was working real well for them. And for some reason, though, they decided to have it tested, and it showed that these herbal remedies had steroids in them. So you can have hidden steroids in many, many things. So please beware. And beware, as I said, also of the steroid shots and oral prednisone. Bad news. After that second one, I forgot to say, after the second steroid shot that I had, the next day, like 1 to 2 days afterwards, my face just blew up. I had red beneath the eyes and on my cheekbones. It looked like somebody laid a hot poker across my face. It just blew up. There was a little bit of swelling, and it was red as a just fire engine red across my cheekbones. I looked like somebody smacked me or something really hard, or smacked me and laid a hot poker across my face. So I would never, under any circumstances, the doctor would have to tell me it was a matter of life and death before I would allow somebody to give me these steroids again, be it topical steroids, a shot, or oral tablets. No way, Jose. Also, it can affect a lot of your systems in your body. Like, for example, one woman about 32 years old had a cataract on her eyes, and the ophthalmologist told her it was due to the steroid creams. Okay, what 30-year-old has a cataract, And also it can cause pitting. Another person went to the ophthalmologist and was told they had pitting in their eyes. And so, so it can just affect you so many different ways. It's ridiculous. So, I'm just going to wind up by telling you, if you haven't heard enough already, to make you be very cautious and to spread the word. Let me just run this past you, some of the terrible withdrawal symptoms. And as I said, they can last from like 6 months to several years in some people. So, here's some of the things that go on when you withdraw. Insomnia. A lot of people are having such intense itching that they cannot sleep. They can't get a decent night's sleep to fight this thing with. So they're having insomnia. They're up at all hours trying to fight the intense itching that comes with it. Redness. Your whole body just about can go red. It's just terrible. The redness is just all over. And you can have swelling. Some people have it very badly. There's people on that Eczema board that have swelling and such facial swelling that their eyes are just swelled shut. I mean, the pictures just would break your heart, especially on the little children. And so there's some really bad swelling. There's a person on the board. I hope he doesn't mind me saying this because I'm not going to say names, but his legs are so very, very swelled and painful that he couldn't walk there for, I don't know how long it was, a couple of days anyhow, maybe more, but he couldn't walk. He actually had to crawl. Seriously, he had to crawl from the bedroom to the kitchen and whatever. Just some people have terrible swelling. Okay, you can have chills, your skin is flaking, and your skin is itching like crazy, your skin is flaking, you shed your skin all over the place. I'm having some of that myself right now, a lot of redness. Your skin sheds like a snake, the skin just drops off of you as it heals. So, okay, there's that. Then you can get these, we call them zingers. You can get nerve pain. It feels like somebody just grabbed my arm all of a sudden and just pinched it just as hard as they could for a second. And so you get these zingers. Some people get them constantly. This is the nerve pain and other types of pain too. A lot of these people are in a lot of pain. And people are getting these things so badly, you guys, that a lot of people are housebound by it. A lot of people were bedridden their first couple of months, bedridden by this. A number of people had to quit their jobs. They couldn't cope. Another symptom is, okay, I don't want to get gross, but let's get gross for a minute because this is a gross thing. The skin begins to ooze, okay, as it goes through these flares. It begins to ooze and then it begins to crust over, but these people that are having the oozing so badly, they can't bear, your skin becomes so sensitive. You can't bear to wear clothes. It makes you so that you can't function in the outside world because this oozing it's just terrible. The oozing and itching and pain is keeping these people awake at night. They can't bear to put clothes on themselves. Because of the oozing is so bad, and some of them, they have to wrap up their arms in bandages and keep changing the bandages. And it's terrible. It's a nightmare. What else can I say? I'm done now, but it's terrible. It's just terrible. So we need your help in spreading awareness of this. Please spread awareness of this. If you know anyone, and it's so sad about the children and the people that have used these creams for so long, and just please spread awareness about it. Oh, I wanted to show my stock of poison. Here is a nice tube of poison right here, also known as Elicon. That's a pretty potent steroid, Elicon cream. That's what I started out with. That's what led me down this road. And even your simple, people use this so much. Let me get it up in there. Am I showing it? Okay. Even simple over-the-counter hydrocortisone cream, do not use it. Don't use it. Use something else. Don't use a steroid cream. Okay, then I already showed you the Triamcinolone, the terrible Triamcinolone. Okay, that's another bottle of it. I'm going to throw this all is going in the trash today. This day shall not pass before I put every bit of this in the trash. Okay, there's a bottle of it. I used half of it. I used quite a few of those. I threw the Clobetasol away. That's the one the final straw that broke the camel's back, that burned so badly, super potent Clobetasol. But besides these, there's more, there's more in their arsenal of pure poison. So you need to make sure you're not using any steroids in the future. If I get a small spot of eczema, believe you me, here is what I am going to use. Right here, folks. I'm not good at this, okay? This is pure. This costs more than your normal vinegar. It's because it has the good stuff in it, okay? In the future, if I get a small spot of eczema, I'm going to put a little bit of apple cider and water mixed with a little bit of water solution on it. and I'm going to let my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, the great physician, do the healing. And that's all I had to say about topical steroids. God bless you all. I pray that you would spread the word. This urgently needs to get out there because it still is not recognized in the medical community enough. They are just beginning to wake up. So please do all that you can. Thank you so much for listening.